Hello everyone, I'm Emily, and I work in the Children's Department at the Defiance Public Library. Today I'm going to share with you some of our new graphic novels that are available for you to check out. We'll begin with two graphic novels, When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamison and Omar Muhammad, and Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamison and Omar Muhammad is a recipient of the Walter Dean Myers Award for Outstanding Literature and the Snyder Family Book Award honor. The Walter Dean Myers Award recognizes diverse authors whose works feature main characters and addresses diversity in a meaningful way. The Snyder Family Book Award honors an author or illustrator for a book that embodies an artistic expression of the disability experience for child and adolescent audiences. When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamison and Omar Muhammad is a memoir of Omar Muhammad's life. A memoir is a story of a particular time in a person's life. When Stars Are Scattered is based on Omar's experience growing up in a refugee camp. Life is always the same in a refugee camp, except when it's not. Sometimes your life can change in an instant, but you can never be sure if it's good change or bad change. Omar and his brother Hassan are refugees from Somalia living in a refugee camp in Kenya, Africa. Omar and Hassan fled Somalia 7 years ago when a civil war broke out. Their father was killed and they were separated from their mother. Omar and Hassan hope to be reunited with their mother someday. Life in a refugee camp is hard. There's never enough food and no access to medical care. Omar takes on the responsibilities of caring for Hassan and all of the chores. Omar has an opportunity to attend school. He worries if he attends, he won't be able to take care of Hassan. Omar decides to attend school and leave Hassan in the care of their foster mom. Omar does well in school and enjoys going because it gives his mind something to do during the day. Refugees are always waiting for food, water, and for their names to be called to be interviewed by the UN to be resettled to another country. One day, during school, Omar learns that his and Hassan's names are on the list to be interviewed. The boys go to the interview, and Omar has to tell the UN worker what he remembers of his home. Days, weeks, months, and even years of waiting go by. Omar and Hassan are still living in the refugee camp. Then, their life changes. To read the rest of Omar and Hassan's story, check out When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamison and Omar Muhammad. Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane is the recipient of the Stonewall Book Award honor. This award is presented to books that have exceptional merit relating to the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender experience. 12-year-old Beetle is a goblin witch being homeschooled by her gran. When Beetle isn't learning from her gran, she enjoys hanging out at the mall with her best friend, Blob Ghost. Bob Ghost is forced to haunt the mall and cannot leave. Cat Hollowbone, a friend of Beetle's, who moved away, is back in town to do an internship with her powerful aunt. Beetle runs into Cat at the mall and learns that Cat's aunt wants to tear down the mall. Beetle has just 1 week to save the Blob Ghost along with them all. Beetle must also encourage Cat to stand up for herself. To read about Beetle's adventures, check out Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. Hello everyone, I'm Emily and I work in the Children's Department at the Defiance Public Library. Today I'm going to share with you some of our new chapter books that are available for you to check out. Next we have 4 chapter books that received awards or honors. Land of the Cranes by Ada Salazar. Turtle Boy by M. Evan Walkenstein. We Dream of Space by Aaron Entrada Kelly. And Show Me a Sign by Anne Claire Lazat. Our first chapter book is a recipient of the Jane Addams Children's Book Award honor. This award recognizes children's book of literary and aesthetic excellence that effectively engage children in thinking about peace, social justice, global community, and equity for all people. Land of the Cranes by Ada Salazar. The prophecy says, one day we will fly back home and croon, cry, and build our nests in the place we once left. Betita Quintero loves her Poppy stories about Aztlan, the land of the cranes. Poppy's stories are about their people immigrating from Mexico to the United States. Betita loves to create stories like her Poppy. Betita creates picture poems to paint her feelings. Betita loves words and considers some of them to be like magic. However, some words scare Betita. One of those scary words is cartel. Betita and her family left Mexico because of the cartel, a group of dangerous men. One day after school, Betita finds out that her Poppy has been caught by ICE and put in a cage. Poppy is sent back to Mexico. After a while, he is able to find a job and a safe place to live. Betita and her mommy and her Poppy plan to meet at Friendship Park, located at the Tinwa-San Diego border. Betita is so excited to see her Poppy again. On the way there, Betita and her mommy miss their turn and end up in Mexico. Betita and her mommy are detained and taken to a detention facility. The living conditions are horrible in the detention center. Betita feels like a crane whose wings have been clipped. She can no longer fly. Betita's mommy gets sick and is taken to a hospital, and Betita is left in the detention center. What does Betita do? Will her family ever be reunited? Read Land of the Cranes by Ada Salazar to see what happens to Betita and her family. Our next book received the Sidney Taylor Book Award. This award is presented to outstanding books for children and teens that authentically portray the Jewish experience. Turtle Boy by M. Evan Walkenstein. 7th grader Will Levine is bullied at school because of the way his chin looks. Some of the kids call him Turtle Boy. For his bar mitzvah, Will is required to complete a community service project. To complete his community service, Will visits RJ in the hospital. RJ has mitochondrial disease, which affects how his organs work. Will and RJ do not get along when they first meet. Will doesn't want to go back and visit RJ, but his mom and Rabbi make him. One day, RJ shares his bucket list with Will. RJ wants to ride a roller coaster, go to a school dance, and swim in the ocean. All things Will would like to avoid doing. Will is happiest when he is alone in his room with his pet turtles. Will decides that he will complete RJ's bucket list task on his behalf. Many of these tasks seem almost impossible to Will as they push him outside of his comfort zone. RJ offers Will guidance for each task he completes. Will starts to learn that life is too short to live within his shell. Check out Turtle Boy by M. Evan Walkenstein. The Newbery Medal is awarded to the author of the most distinguished contribution to American literature. We Dream of Space by Aaron and Trotta Kelly is a Newbery Honor book. Set in January 1986, the Thomas siblings Cash, Fitch, and Bird may all live in the same house, but they exist in their own orbit. The siblings have very little in common with one another, except they all have the same science teacher, Miss Salonga. After repeating 7th grade, Cash feels like a failure. Fitch has a bit of a temper that he does his best to control, and he loves to play video games. Bird likes to take apart machines to see how they work, but she feels invisible. The Thomas siblings' parents argue constantly, and Bird feels like it is up to her to keep her family from malfunctioning. Miss Salonga is teaching her science classes all about the Challenger space mission. Bird loves this assignment and decides that when she grows up, she wants to be the first woman shuttle commander. When that fated day arrives, it changes everything. To read about the Thomas siblings, check out We Dream of Space by Aaron and Trotta Kelly. Show Me a Sign by Anne Claire Lazat is the middle grade recipient of the Schneider Family Book Award. The Schneider Family Book Award honors an author or illustrator for a book that embodies an artistic expression of the disability experience for children and adolescent audiences. Mary Lambert lives on an island of Martha's Vineyard where her great-grandfather was the first deaf islander. Now, 100 years later, many people on the island, including Mary, are deaf. Nearly everyone who lives on the island can communicate with sign language. Mary has never felt isolated from others and has always felt safe and protected on the island. Life on the island is starting to change. Mary's brother died, and disputes between the English settlers and the Wampanoag are rising. A scientist is coming to the island to study its residents and the prevalence of deafness. While out for a walk early one morning, the scientist captures Mary. The scientist takes Mary to the mainland as his live specimen. On the mainland, no one communicates in sign language. How is Mary going to get help in returning home to her family? Check out Show Me a Sign by Anne Claire Lazat to see what happens to Mary.